Beep, 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 hello peeps. Good afternoon, good evening, good afternoon, good day, good morning, all that. Yeah, wherever you are on the globe, hello, welcome to the court of the EDI Jester. The NHS! Just God, they get me screaming of a morning. Do you remember that last week, the NHS were removing the word mother from all their literature? Right, what we got this week? Bunch of bloody nut jobs. NHS to spend millions creating woke diversity and inclusion jobs, being reported again on the 17th of September in the Telegraph. Why are they doing it? Now, somebody said to me the other day, right, why don't the government do something about it? It's like, right, that's easy to say, okay? Right, we don't live in a dictatorship. Right, the government can't go, right, give me that, I'll sign it. Like, that's not how it works at all, right? On the other hand, they should certainly be saying a lot more. Okay, because we need to get the NHS back to heel, because it's just ridiculous what they're doing. Ridiculous. So somebody in the government say something, for God's sake, say something and say it very loudly. Actually, Suella Braverman, whichever it is, did yesterday, was asked a question about the police and you know, them being supportive of the all that that nonsense and various other things. Stonewall, she said they shouldn't be doing it. She's removed their departments from Stonewall. The police need to do the same. Get out of it. It's nothing to do your damn job. Nobody wants you prancing around, you know, with a pair of rainbow ears on, with a bunch of old farts like me. All right, don't do it. Or even young farts who aren't like me. I don't care which. Just don't do it. But the NHS here they're at it again. The move to set up 3 new departments they're setting up, focusing on equality and LGBTQ issues, comes despite ministers' demands for less bureaucracy. The NHS is creating hundreds of diversity and inclusion roles, right? Even though they've been told to crack down on waste and wokery. Officials at NHS England, and it's always NHS England. What's wrong with you, NHS England, you nutters? Have drawn up plans for 3 new departments called Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. It's DI, you know that's what it's like. People and Culture and People and Communities, with 244 posts across the team. 244 people. Right? Tell me this isn't a grift. It's a grift. The Health Secretary is understood to be frustrated by the move and intends to summon health officials to demand explanations for the creation of large departments enforcing woke doctrines, for that is what it is. Ministers have repeatedly promised to crack down on bureaucracy, with NHS England ordered to cut its total workforce by up to 40%. Good. Now, people go, don't cut the workforce. Now, NHS England, they're a different thing. They're just a bunch of bureaucrats, right? I'm about cutting them by 100%. Start again. Might be an idea. Earlier this year, Steve Barclay, the Health Secretary, ordered NHS England to get rid of specific diversity and inclusion roles as part of efforts to ensure good value for money. And yet here we are. They won't go away, Steve, mate. You know, you've got to get tough with them. As tough as you can. The latest move has emerged ahead of the first joint strike by junior doctors and consultants, which NHS bosses have warned will cancel almost all appointments. So there you go. Well, you know, the public is really grateful for the NHS, but they pay for it. They shouldn't be too grateful because we pay for it. We should be saying, what you doing? Right? Because you imagine you went to a shop to buy a cream bun and you came out with a donut in the bag. You go back with the donut and go, where's my cream bun? And the NHS is saying, we can't help you with that. No, we're too busy setting up donut departments. So, you know, you've had a cream bun, now go away. That's how they behave. Right? Like we aren't the public who are paying for them. Right? We are the public who are paying for them. They work for us, not the other way around. We don't work for them, specifically NHS England. Nothing to do with the frontliners. Frontliners can get on with it. It's it's what's going on in the background, the bureaucracy, isn't it? We need to get them sorted. And I imagine the unions like Unison and that lot, they've got more than their one nasty little finger in this particular filthy pie, don't you? So there's a strike coming up. NHS waiting lists are a record high, with 7.7 million people, around 1 in 7 of the population, waiting for treatment. I gotta say, I've always found them to be superb. But then, you know, because when I've needed them, it was quite serious. That may be something to do with it, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Anyway, But the plans seen by the Telegraph, back to the thing, but show the units have a staffing budget of almost 14 million. 14 million for this scam. Right? EDI is a scam, by the way. It's all a scam. Right? Including 18 senior officials on 6-figure salaries. 14 million. How many more people would that employ? How many more operations would that mean? How many more beds? Over the next 10 years, they'll spend 140 million on this rubbish. The departments fall under the auspices of Workforce Chief Dr. Naveen Evans, who is on a salary of more than 200,000. All right, Doc, what are you doing? Hey, Navina? Hey? Bit of a grift going on there? In March, Mr. Barclay wrote to the heads of 10 arm's-length bodies saying he believed that diversity and inclusion was everyone's responsibility and should be picked up through normal management processes and as part of everyone's role rather than through the use of external providers or discrete dedicated roles within organisations. Absolutely right. It followed promises from predecessor Sajid Javid to stamp out waste and wokery in the health service. However, proposals for the NHS's new structure to take effect from April 2024 show that it is seeking to create new directorates covering diversity, communities and culture. It's just cobblers, isn't it? Come on, call it out for what it is. However, proposal for the NHS's new structure to take effect from April 2024 show that it is creating these with 177 staff earning 50 grand each. For what? 50 grand for counting people by their immutable characteristics. What's the tally? Right, 40 blacks, 15 pinks, 17 yellows, a couple of greens. Yeah, what else you got there? 110 faggots, a few lezers. Anything else? I don't know, we're on the 9th floor, the disabled can't get in the lift. There you go, right? It's just nonsense and it needs to stop now. Absolute unmitigated nonsense. 177 of 244 people earning at least 50 grand. It's absolutely surreal. It needs to go, and it needs to go really quickly. Despite Mr. Barclay's instructions to get rid of specific roles for diversity and inclusion, there will be a dedicated equality, diversity and inclusion department with 50 employees and staffing costs of 3 million. The plans say the national EDI team will focus on establishing policy, knowledge and expertise in areas other than race and disability. This is a boondoggle for the LGBTQ+. So the NHS is now acting like a socialist state because the unions will be behind this. This isn't about disabled, right? It's not even about race. It's about LGBTQ. It's about the Marxists, isn't it? The communists. The communists and the Marxists at the heart of the NHS. The 13.8 million in total salaries across the 3 units does not include on-call, overtime and London waiting allowances, which would significantly inflate salaries. A source close to Mr. Barclay said taxpayers will be deeply concerned that NHS time and money is once again being wasted on rejigging backroom bureaucracy, rather than frontline patient care. Who's doing this? There's a spider, isn't there, at the heart of the NHS. Some people know who it is. This bloke. This bloke. I reckon he's a chaser. Either way, it doesn't matter. Get it gone, get it stopped. What the hell are we doing? Messing about with this nonsense still. The NHS needs to be brought to heel, but I don't know how do you do it? How do you do it? What can the ministers do when they've got such inertia from those working in the NHS or those in the civil service who simply think this is a good idea because the civil service and the NHS is filled with lovey liberals and lunatic lefties? What are you going to do? Right, you might have to do the whole damn thing and take them on. Take them on properly. So it goes now. And the minister needs to go in and start firing people and taking the hit. Do it. Do like bull in a china shop tactics, because nothing else has worked. Go ahead. Where's the EDI department? Over there. Right, okay. Who's in charge of this boondoggle for the LGBTQ people? Him over there. Right. You! They want to send in an old bearded curmudgeon with a temper. See what we can do then. Support your local NHS by all means. Support your doctors and support your nurses. Even if you think I don't think they should be striking. Get on with your job, right? Even if you think that they've got a point, support them by all means. But my God, the bureaucracy behind it and this absolute madness needs to stop before somebody gets seriously hurt. I'll see you later. Bye.